It was a sunny Saturday afternoon. I was driving with a friend to grab lunch when I got a call from a strange number. Like anyone with a cell phone, I ignored it. They could leave a voicemail if it's that important. But they did.
Hello, this is Simply Safe. An alarm was received. We're calling to make sure everything is okay.
That was Simply Safe calling to tell me that my alarm had gone off while I was away. Thankfully, everything was okay and it was just a false alarm, and I was able to cancel the emergency response really easily. But now I had proof that the Simply Safe system I installed in my house only weeks ago had been working exactly as it should have been. Today, I'll be telling you more about my month with Simply Safe since I installed it in March, how the sensors worked, what adjustments I made, and whether or not having a used system makes any difference. If you haven't seen our video on setting up Simply Safe, you can find it up here. Long story short, I set up a used Simply Safe home security system last month and have been using it ever since. In that system, I use the interactive plan to monitor 2 door and window sensors, a motion sensor, a key fob, a keypad, and a base station. I also tried setting up Simply Safe's outdoor camera without success. I'll give you an update on that in just a second. Setup was tricky thanks to issues with the PIN code and the account information, but thankfully that was solved during installation. So I've been happily coexisting with this security system in my home ever since. I found at least 4 ways to arm and disarm the system, each easier than the next. My personal favorite became the key fob because it saved me a lot of time and stress walking through the door with a beeping alarm system. All I had to do was press a button. Even if you don't choose Simply Safe for your home security, if there's a key fob option, take it. So now that you're up to speed, here are a few notes and stories from the last month. The 2 door and window sensors went on my kitchen window and my front door. The second one got a little more action over the last month, but it was on my screen door rather than my actual front door. The whole reason for this was because my door sits so deeply into the frame and opens into the house, so I couldn't fit the sensors on the door frame without them knocking each other off. And the screen door felt like a perfectly fine alternative. I will say though, hats off to whatever adhesive they use on these sensors because it stuck no matter where or how many times I replaced it. With that sensor securely in place, I was satisfied to move on. But that false alarm I mentioned earlier, that was the screen door. And there was another one in the middle of the night shortly after I installed the system too. So maybe the screen door wasn't the brilliant alternative I thought it was. Unless you can keep your screen door locked and secured, you should stick with the main door. Like all DIY systems, Simply Safe has a base station that acts as the main hub for all of the home security sensors. And it was pretty easy to ignore the whole month I had it at home. It politely hung out in the background, pinging when the door or window opened or when my system was armed. There were a couple moments though throughout the month when I had to turn off my Wi-Fi or my power for a video, and the base station was quick to respond. It told me when the backup battery or cellular backup kicked in, so I knew when something was wrong, even if it was me doing it. There was even a moment when it detected wireless interference. Hopefully no one was trying to jam my system. But all in all, the base station was pretty reliable and generally easy to ignore that part of the system. And as it should be, a good security system will blend into your home and work with your routine seamlessly. So, well done on that one, Simply Safe. Simply Safe is compatible with Amazon and Google smart speakers, so I had to do my due diligence and see what that connection actually looks like. Right off the bat, I was able to arm and disarm the system with my voice commands, and that was really convenient. But setup with Alexa was odd because Simply Safe is considered a skill rather than a device, so this limited how I was able to use in routines. I could arm or disarm the system if something triggered it, but it couldn't be the trigger itself. That said, if you have Amazon or Google smart speakers with screens, you'll be able to do more than I did. A Google Nest Hub or Amazon Echo Show can connect with your Simply Safe camera and show live feed on the panel. But unfortunately, I never did get the outdoor camera to work. I know, I'm just as disappointed as you are. But despite multiple attempts, resets, and battery changes, I never could get it out of the loop it got into in the app. After charging the battery, the camera would happily go into setup mode. And this was a pleasant change from my initial setup experience and shined a little hope my way. But after I paired it and named the camera, it went right back to the setup menu. And this happened over and over again, like some kind of terrible karmic merry-go-round where the camera dies and comes back to life only to die again. So SimpliSafe, if you're watching this, feel free to send us a new outdoor camera and we would be happy to test it. But unfortunately, this one never quite got off the ground. So, what was it like to have SimpliSafe in my home for a full month? Honestly, pretty uneventful. Other than 2 false alarms on my front door, things ran pretty smoothly. It didn't seem to matter that this was a previously loved system or that I had issues setting it up. All of that was water under the bridge. I consistently armed and disarmed my system without trouble. And I will say, I wish that they had more choices for different contact sensors, and I would have liked to figure out the front door issue without resorting to my screen door. And I would have loved to get the outdoor camera up and running. But overall, having SimpliSafe in my home was a pretty smooth experience. 90% of the time, it worked exactly as it should, even if I put my sensors in a false alarm prone area. If you want to learn more about SimpliSafe and other DIY systems like it, check the description below to see our full review, FAQs, and comparisons to other popular systems. As for me, I'm hoping to keep this system in my house and try other SimpliSafe gear like the Smart Lock. So, like, subscribe, and stay tuned to see more from us on SimpliSafe and other home security systems. Hey, if you're one of the 10 people who made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you want more safety, head over to safewise.com and you can find reviews and our lineups of best home security systems, best wireless cameras, and more. Stay safe.